Hello, how you doing? I hope you're well. Oop, did it blip? Did it click? Okay, it's a bit late in the day to do a morning report. It's 111 a.m. p.m. Woo. Already been out, done a bunch of stuff I had to do, got it done, came back, talked to friends on the phone, listened to the pouring rain. Anyway, Thursday, February 13th, 2025. And it's 1:13 p.m. right now in the afternoon. And yes, I've got a stupid headband on. I put a stupid headband on because my hair was all over the place, and I wanted to put my hood up, and it was in the rain. Whatever. The moderator is not moderate. It's all words, isn't it? All these words. Talk. Long chat to a good friend, and a recognition of what's going down in the big picture by seeing what's going on in the small picture. We work kind of against the principles of nature. That's, I think, in the bigger picture. I think we're learning, and I think we're getting there. But we're working still against the nature of our nature. Still think we're doing that. Still think we're acquiescing to other people, giving power away, and being forced into a corner a little bit by our choices. And our historical choices have always had us in the corner, but we're being forced even further back into the corner. I think there's a division that's global. I mean, it's happened in many countries, and it's happened in large parts of the world in our history. I think the American generals called the Second World War, or tried to contain the Second World War into what they called the European theatre of war. I mean, it's theatre. We are merely players. Are we? Well, I think we're no longer merely players. We're aware of our roles, and we have to make a stance about our roles. We have to sort of like go, okay, well, yeah, you got me. I would prefer a more indigenous, earth-based existence than the one that provides us with all this unnecessary convenience. I think whoever thought up the title of the Dead Kennedys album, Give Me Convenience or Give Me Death, I think we're almost there. We're almost there. But there are still people who are holding out, and I don't know where that comes from in me. Maybe from my hereditary genetics, maybe from the idea of my gypsy existence. Maybe I was lucky enough to be born with the gift that I've talked about many times, unconditional love, which gives you an expansive view of how to be in the world, to love everybody. You know, maybe it's that. I don't know. But for whatever reason, I do see there being a growth, a growing of that idea that we can live in love and harmony with that which gave us life, Mother Earth. And I'm seeing that more and more, and kind of seeing through the lens of history, which may or may not be true. Like I've talked about the lie of history, or where history indoctrinates, so I have to be aware of that. But I think we may have taken a wrong turn, a very big wrong turn. Historically, with the way in which we implemented our industrial revolution. I know most of the world's leaders are working with the World Economic Foundation, which was set up with the doctrine of a man called Klaus Schwab. He wasn't necessarily the person who started the World Economic Foundation, and he's kind of almost put himself in the back seat because he doesn't want to put his personality on things. But he was a driving force. And his book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, is the one where we integrate with the machine. We actually acquiesce to the digital machinery, the computers, the whatever, technology, we give up. And I think our current president has been talking with people there about the advancement of artificial intelligence to run things. I think that's %100 wrong. There was a book called Brave New World. I know people don't like to read dystopian novels, but in Brave New World, it comes down to the bifurcation, the Soma and the savage. And that's why I wrote the question over here in the chat, but nobody's chatting today. I'm not reliably consistent every day at the same time. So some people join me some days, and other times people don't. But most of the time I'm talking to myself because I'm still working things out. But the specifics of the Brave New World thing, I mean, there's been some movies and TV series and all that, but they give it twists, The people who acquiesce to the system of controls eventually become part of the system. They become the machine that runs the system with all its rules and regulations. And they have comfortable lives as long as they stick to the rules and regulations. Well, in one part of the novel, our protagonist, one of our central characters, goes to the outlands, goes outside of the controlled environment, to visit a place where there are still people living wild lives, and they're called the savages. So the Soma, which is the pill you take to stay within your bubble of convenience, is, you're just going along with the system. And the savage chose to not go along with the system, and it's brought back into society. And it's the chaos that brings back to an orderly society. It's good because it points out to me the duality, this duality of human experience, this idea of human experience, and it puts us right on our back foot. There we go. Back down, think, feel, be. Just really, really focus in on what we were born with, and I don't care who you are, but what everybody was born with, which is this unconditional love. And it grants me a unique perspective, because if I tap into it and use it every day in my interactions, I can do no harm. I might die early. I might, suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous societies that see me marginalized, but I don't care. I really don't. I love everybody unconditionally, because we're learning and we're getting there, but we're not there. And if we look for somebody else to get us there, you're putting a lot of faith and a lot of stock into the hands of people who will not necessarily take you to your destination. In fact, most definitely won't. If your destination is death, then I can understand that. If your destination is death, then it doesn't matter how you get there, does it? You're going to skid in there. But the point is, if your destination is to live, love life, and to actually expand beyond this human duality and become part of a oneness, then you really do have to make effort in this life, in this duality, to choose to understand that you are an eternal being. And if you choose that, then it becomes almost impossible for you to not for you to go out and to knowingly do harm, to actually choose in that duality. Oh, it doesn't matter, I'm going to be naughty, I'm going to lie, I'm going to cheat, I'm going to steal, I'm going to be ugly, I'm going to be nasty, I'm going to be evil, I'm going to fight, I'm going to be violent. Well, the violence inherent in society comes from humans who have said, well, fuck it, I might as well do the same as everybody else. Well, that's not good, is it? Fuck it, I'm going to do if everybody's going to do that, I'm going to do it. It's like, that's not a brilliant excuse, is it? How do you stop war? It's like, how do you stop a war? Well, you fight back. I mean, there's things that I find absurd, and I try and keep a sense of humor about. But for the most part, I get little evidence of anybody really trying to peacefully be as kind as they can be, even to their enemy, even to the people that are saying, you're an idiot. You still got to go, yeah, but I am my own idiot. Ooh. I like to interact with other humans. So I'm going to go out there and probably be accused of all sorts of nonsense, because I just live, love life, and I'm trying to be as honest as I can about that. And how, you see, I've already just built in a little back door for myself, trying to be honest as I possibly can about that. I have no control over the future. None. I want no control over the future, my own or anybody else's, but I do want to enjoy my life. So I'm going to be as honest and straightforward with people as I can be. And that's going to give me as many enemies as it will friends. just because society seems to be hell-bent on going in the wrong direction. But that's okay, you know. It's inevitable. I mean, years ago, I was working on an album that I didn't release, and I'm glad I didn't release it, really, because as much as I wanted to write about it, it was in a time when people were being even more antagonistic as they are today, and it would have presented me with a banishment from the society that I was living within and trying to be kind. But it was called The Inevitable Bifurcation. And it is inevitable. You know, this is the duality, and it's inevitable that some people are going to go in that direction. It doesn't matter how much you jump up and down and wave your arms, they're going to go in that direction. Hopefully they don't get too burnt and then actually adjust themselves back into a more middle stance. So back to the title of this, which I'm going to keep this short. The moderator is not moderate. I'm no longer sitting in the middle saying they'll come back, they'll come back, they'll come back, they'll come back. Well, that's always been my hope, I suppose. That's my hopium. That's my wish. I now have to stand in the middle and go, come on, we can make such a more cohesive, cooperative, beautiful, inclusive, loving, caring world if you just come and look at it. Come and look at it. So, you know, as I've said before, all we have is influence. So go out there and influence people to be love and peace. That's what I'm doing. All right, keeping it short. Love you, love and peace.